I will fight for you. I always do until my heart is black and blue. And I will stay.
Oh my God.
Hey, Mama.
Hi. It's okay. Walking into that yard and seeing all those dogs was very emotional, very draining. And the first thing you're asking yourself is, how have you all survived like this? Thinking that the week before there was a huge snowstorm. Thinking that just the other day it was 13 degrees. How did you guys make it? Hi, babies. Hi, guys. Oh my God.
They're all puppies. They're like, oh, hi, hello.
It was pretty overwhelming.
Now I'll hold on to you. No matter what this world throws, it won't shake me loose. I'll reach my hands out in the dark and wait for yours to until I can wait for you. I'll wait for you. I'm not giving up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down to my last breath.
The conversation about animal shelters for non-kill versus kill shelters is a debate that will be going on for years, as many people think there are pros and cons to each. But I will say we've come a long way in giving animals the rights they deserve and creating non-kill shelters to begin with. In 1870, the way New York dealt with strays was to put all the dogs into a cage and drown them in the East River. They would pick up the cage, empty, fill, repeat. So we've definitely come a long way. Many people opposed of non-kill shelters will argue that there are too many animals in the world and they can't have homes for all of them. But around 30 million animals a year are adopted and about 2 million animals are put down. And you may think in comparison, that's nothing. But animals aren't numbers. They have heartbeats, they have mothers, they feel things. Even though we have come a long way, there is still a lot to do, as all shelters, in my opinion, should be no-kill shelters, and for many reasons. Non-kill shelters are more likely to get charitable funding from people in the community. They are more likely to have volunteers. No one will want to volunteer at a kill shelter where they're looking in the eyes of animals who have days or minutes to live. As much as I would love to rescue all the animals in kill shelters, if I'm going to adopt a pet, I'm going to go to a non-kill shelter because I want them to receive the funding from me, a purpose I support. And I can't say enough how many people like me agree with this. Conditions in no-kill shelters are much more happier, right? You have life, you have people that are working to make homes for these animals. It's also been proven that animals in no-kill shelters are younger, they're more energetic, and wouldn't you be? Even the ambiance of a no-kill shelter is so much better than a kill shelter for the animals, for the workers, for the volunteers. People at no-kill shelters are dedicating their time to find homes for these animals and to make sure they're taken care of. At no-kill shelters, they're focusing on keeping lives, not ending them. In kill shelters, after a limited time, they are put to their death. What if you have a lost pet and it ends up in a kill shelter because you don't find him in a couple days? That means you should lose your pet and he should be put down? I don't agree with that at all. In kill shelters, it truly doesn't matter the conditions that animals are living in or how they're being treated. they're all going to end the same way if they're not adopted. Not only do I not support kill shelters, but whenever we go to a shelter to adopt a pet, I always want to look for the ugliest, oldest, the one with the most health conditions, because I know that he's the last one to get adopted. And I think we need more people like this, because everybody usually goes for the cute little puppies or small dogs. And if you know about the ugly duckling story, he turns into a swan. And sometimes childhood stories give us the best lessons. And many people will argue, those that are opposed to non-kill shelters, that, well, what's more humane? Living in a shelter your whole life or ending the life? Here's my example. I used to volunteer at a shelter. It was a no-kill shelter, of course, and there was a beautiful pit bull that had been there for years before I started, and a couple of years after I had stopped. And the last time I had visited, he was adopted, and they keep sending updates on how wonderful. So even he was in the shelter for 5 years. You think that's horrible, but the life that he gets to live now is worth those 5 years. It was the end of his storm and there was a rainbow.
Hi, my name's Maritza, and I think it's an awesome idea to adopt from highly killing animal shelters. So when animals are found on the streets by animal control, it's usually because the pets are lost or they no longer have a home. So when these animals are found, they're picked up and brought to animal shelters. And these animal shelters are definitely great places. They can help provide spaces for animals to live. They can feed them and take care of them. When people can no longer take care of their pets, they can also bring them into shelters. And this is really awesome for the pets too that can't be taken care of properly anymore. Unfortunately, there comes a time when these shelters become overpopulated, and this happens a lot of times every year. They don't have enough materials to take care of the animals, and they just don't have enough space to house anymore. So this is when animals unfortunately have to be put down, and most of the time they are not very old and they're healthy. So it's really sad that these animals that are nowhere close to actually dying are being put down, and no animals deserve to die. So I would definitely recommend adopting from these shelters because you are potentially saving an animal's life. So the next time that you're looking into finding a new pet, instead of immediately going to breeders, you should check out your shelters because sometimes they're going to be cheaper and you also get to give an animal a second chance. So I hope that the next time you're looking for a new pet, you consider looking into your local animal shelter.
I personally think that adopting from a high-kill animal shelter is good and bad. I believe that it is good to adopt from a high-kill animal shelter because you are saving tons of animals' lives and helping them find a good home and a good owner. But I also believe that it is bad because you are funding the place and the people who are running the high-kill shelter. I think high-kill shelters should be banned because why would someone want to hurt and take animals' lives away? That is cruel and it's very bad.
I don't think that there should be high-kill shelters because when it comes to like an animal, you shouldn't have to like put it down or anything unless there's something like severely wrong with it. And at high-kill shelters, they just put them down because, oh, they've been in here for too long, they're not going to get adopted. Like, that doesn't, just because they've been in there for a while doesn't mean they're going to be adopted. It's just waiting for the right person. And I definitely think that if you have the chance, you should definitely adopt from a high-kill shelter because you're saving, pretty much just like saving the dog or whatever animal it is life. Because if it sits at that shelter any longer, it will eventually be put down, which is horrible to think about, but I think that you should think about that because you don't want all these innocent animals that probably haven't done anything wrong to be put down for absolutely no reason.
If you're already adopting an animal, you should just do it from a high kill shelter because those dogs and cats never asked to be taken away from the environment and they're asked to put in those situations. So saving them from those situations is also going to help you because if you're looking for a dog or cat, then you're going to get one that loves you just the same as any bred one or anyone that you would find at any store or other regular shelter. And you're going to save that dog or cat's life from the killing that they do at high kill shelters. These shelters are already looking with high populations to try and get less animals in there and not necessarily always trying to hurt the animals or kill them, but it's sometimes the only option they have because they have no support like other large shelters and stores get. In the end, adopting from high kill shelters is going to be the most beneficial because you're going to be happy with your new animal and they're going to be happy with their new loving home, and it's going to save from the death and destruction that high kill shelters cause.